Burks on the miss. Rebound Suns. They've got time. Out to Cam. Lets it fly for the win. Yes! Cole game!
We talk about Cam Johnson because I've wanted to do this for a while. Today's video is brought to you by Manscaped.com. We're going to discuss them later on in the video. Last night's game versus the New York Knicks was a little bit of an interesting game because obviously we didn't have Chris Paul or Devin Booker. So again, it was going to be one of those games with just a bunch of our role players and with DeAndre Ayton hopefully taking the lead. And while DeAndre didn't do bad versus the Trailblazers, this game was just not his game. However, I'm not here to talk about DeAndre Ayton. I'm here to talk about the guy that dropped 38 points, had 9 threes, and a game-winning buzzer beater to beat the New York Knicks. If you can't tell, I'm talking about Cam Johnson. Now, this is someone I've been hyping up for months now, and honestly, I really started to notice things right around last season. I think everyone could definitely tell that he was a special player, but no one was really saying, you know what, this is a key reason to the Phoenix Suns and why they were succeeding in their playoff run. I know there were definitely some Phoenix Suns fans that definitely thought that and was like, oh my god, this guy's going to be special for us. However, a lot of people didn't even know who he was, and I'm mostly talking about casuals here. I think most people can agree that he's a better player than Jay Crowder and that he should be in the starting lineup. However, the way people put it is that the starting lineup isn't exactly your 5 best players, it's just the 5 best players for a certain situation. So when it comes clutch time, I'm mostly gonna trust Cam Johnson to go win over Jay Crowder, and that's no disrespect to Jay Crowder, I like him, but Cam Johnson is an automatic 3-point sniper, which I don't know how he didn't make the 3-point contest. They may not know much, but I'm pretty sure that if you're shooting nearly 45% from the 3-point line this season, then you should at least make the 3-point contest at the bare minimum. I gotta say, I was very impressed with Cam Johnson last night. Obviously, the 38 points is something to be very impressed about, but just the way he played and the poise he had at the end of the game being super clutch for the Phoenix Suns, and he was one of the reasons why they made that comeback. This is one of those games that if there was a rerun on TV, I would probably watch it. A lot of people would argue this was the Phoenix Suns' best regular season game, and to that I would say I agree. It was a hard-fought win, and it showed out for players like Cam Johnson who they really are, and that they can be that guy when guys like Devin Booker and Chris Paul can't play. I said this months ago, and I'm gonna stand by what I said, but Cam Johnson is the Phoenix Suns' secret weapon. I mean, think about it. Who's talking about Cam Johnson that's not a Phoenix Suns fan? He wasn't in the 3-point contest, so casuals don't know who he is. He's not a starter for the Phoenix Suns. Even last night I saw on Twitter when they were posting clips of the Cam Johnson game winner and just clips of him making a lot of shots during the game, people were saying who? I want to say a good 30% of them were young boy profile pictures that were just casuals on Twitter, but there were legitimate people asking who the hell is this? I've never heard of him a day in my life. Just kind of disrespectful. I think we need to start talking about Cam Johnson a little bit more because he's getting no recognition, yet he's one of the best young 3-point shooters in the game, and I would honestly rate him as a top 3 shooter right now in the NBA. And if you ask me, I think he's the most efficient 3-point shooter this season. And who in the NBA media is saying, oh, I think Cam Johnson's the best 3-point shooter? I think he's top 3 at least. I've heard no one talk about him. He's like your average spot-up shooter, except he can do just about everything. I mean, would you guys like to tell me which spot-up shooter in the NBA is doing this?
In the paint. Cam Johnson, he throws it down.
I mean, I know the Phoenix Suns don't get a lot of NBA love from the media, and that's something that I've kind of just learned to accept, even though I've kind of started this movement a little bit of people saying, you know what, yeah, they don't get a lot of respect from the NBA media, and they really should, as they are currently, and I honestly think they have been for the longest time the best team in the NBA. Now, I'm recording this about 10 o'clock in the morning, and I am yet to see anyone on First Take or any show whatsoever talk about Cam Johnson's performance, and this is something that I don't want to go unnoticed. Sure, there are some people that are going to have 38-point games and stuff like that. However, I want to discuss the fact that Cam Johnson rose to the occasion. He's a generally young player, and a lot of people didn't really expect him to go off by this much. So the fact that in a clutch situation, Cam Johnson had like 20 points in the 4th quarter, made a shot that seemed like it was impossible to make over 2 Knicks defenders? However, I say this is impossible for most people because Cam Johnson isn't like every other shooter. However, I say most people, yet Cam Johnson isn't most people. Now, with talking about the Knicks game, I think it's important we discuss Cam Johnson's impact on the season because that's something that, again, not a lot of people are talking about. Now, before we can talk about Cam Johnson's impact on the season, let's hear a quick word from today's sponsor. Now, before we get into the rest of this video, hey y'all, this video is sponsored by Manscaped.com, the #1 brand for men's grooming and hygiene products. Manscaped has a variety of products, and one of my favorite has to be the Lawnmower 4.0 with 7,000 1000 RPM and skin safe technology. Now, I've been using Manscaped for about a couple months, and I gotta say, I've been very impressed with their products. In fact, I've been incorporating a lot of their stuff into my shower routine. One of my favorite things about Manscaped is the fact that their products are unisex, so anyone can use Manscaped products. They also do have stuff for other parts of your body, for example, like their 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. They even have body wash, like they have all the products you can need for your shower routine. Like I said earlier, I've been using Manscaped's products for about a couple months, ever since they sent them out to me, and I've been very impressed. Now, if you guys do want any products from Manscaped, then make sure you guys go to manscaped.com. The link is in the description below. However, if you do want to save some money, make sure you guys do use code Spex for 20% off plus international free shipping. Guys, that is code Spex for 20% off plus international free shipping. Thank you so much to Manscaped for sponsoring this video and the channel. I think this season Cam Johnson has really stepped up. I mean, overall his performance on the season has been terrific, and he's been someone that the Phoenix Suns know they can go to if they need a bucket. Like I said earlier in the video, he's a 3-point sniper, and I'm gonna stand by that. Mind you, this is the same person that a lot of people said they reached in the draft for when they took him with the 11th overall pick. However, if we look at it now, I think it's safe to say the Phoenix Suns ended up taking the W, because the player they originally drafted before they traded for the 11th overall pick and would eventually take Cam Johnson was Jared Culver, who I don't even think is in the league anymore. So taking Cam Johnson with the 11th overall pick and seeing everything he's done for us, I mean, he's only gotten better ever since his rookie year, and God knows what his ceiling is. I think during his rookie season, a lot of people were saying, oh, he could be a catch and shoot spot up shooter, if that. However, I think his ceiling is a lot higher than that. I think more than a 20 points per game score sounds a little bit around his ceiling, but I think it's definitely possible for him to develop into a lot more because, well, Cam Johnson is very young talent and we don't know how long he has. But not like a CP3 situation where we don't know how long he has, so let's preserve every single season. I mean that we have Cam Johnson and it could be for the next 10 years. When it's time for Cam Johnson to get his bag, I think it's safe to say the Phoenix Suns are going to give him that bag. I mean, come on, let's face it, sure, he's a good 3-point shooter, he's good inside the paint, he's really good at cutting, he's good at filling the lanes. There are so many things that Cam Johnson is good at. But if you guys aren't going to agree with me that I think Cam Johnson is arguably the best and most efficient shooter in the NBA this season, I would like to argue one thing that I think we can all agree on, and that's the fact that Cam Johnson makes the best lemonade in the NBA. It was so good that they brought it back during the game. In fact, you could literally buy it while watching Cam Johnson have his monstrous performance. So it got me thinking, what's in the lemonade? Because if Cam Johnson had some of that before the game, I think it's kind of funny that the one game he goes off for 38 points and has the game of his life, it was the one game that they brought back his amazing lemonade stand. Unfortunately, I did not go to the lemonade stand because I was sick. However, a lot of people have told me, yeah, it was some good ass lemonade. Trust me, if Cam Johnson runs it back, then I'm definitely going to that event. And you know what? I'm feeling pretty good today, so if this video gets 200 likes, I'll be giving away a Cam Johnson lemonade t-shirt on my Twitch, twitch.tv/Spex. We're also doing a giveaway for a Chris Paul and a Devin Booker jersey on my Twitch when we hit 50 followers, so again, check out the Twitch, the link will be in the description below. I guess my final things that I want to say about Cam Johnson is that ultimately, this guy is such amazing talent, and I'm so glad the Phoenix Suns have him. I'm probably gonna title this video something along the lines of he's a secret weapon for the Phoenix Suns, and I mean, how is he not? Who's talking about Cam Johnson? And that's not a diss at him, it's just the fact that the NBA really doesn't like to cover NBA players that are just not starters or NBA All-Stars, which I can understand. However, when you do that and you have players like Cam Johnson, Afri Simmons, or some of these other guys that don't get talked about as much that are very significant to their team, and they start going off and just start showing out for everyone, don't be like, oh my god, who is this guy? I never saw this coming, because I promise you we all saw this coming. If the NBA media isn't gonna give Cam Johnson love, fine, we didn't expect that. If most of NBA YouTube isn't gonna respect Cam Johnson, fine, you know what, it's all good, y'all don't have to make videos about him, I will. But don't be surprised when Cam Johnson turns into a 20 points per game scorer. That is a key player on the Phoenix Suns. If you haven't heard of Cam Johnson, I would recommend you start taking notes, because one way or another, you're gonna be hearing about this guy for years to come.